Welcome to You Are Not Alone. This is a safe place to explore all things spiritual and beyond. I am spiritual medium Erica Gabriel. Well, hello there. Welcome back to You Are Not Alone. Hi, guys. How's it going? How is everyone? How's December going? How is December going? I can't believe it's December. I feel like summer just ended. And now it's December, and then it's going to be the new year. Oh my God. Do you guys get stressed about New Year's resolutions? I'm going to just say it right here. I do not like them. I do not like New Year's resolutions. They feel like so much pressure. I'm like, why do I have to be like completely different? Like it's after this night. I get the passage of time and that's special and should be celebrated and, marking the end of a year. It's very symbolic. It's very positive. 2025 in the past, moving on to a new circle, new travel around the sun. Is that what the year marks? Does Earth travel around the sun in 365 days? Hold on. Oh God, you guys. This is why you pay attention in life and in school. Does Earth go around? Some people are like, click, I'm hanging up off this podcast. This chick. The Earth goes around the sun in 365.25 days. Okay, fine. I did know. So the Earth has had its travel around the sun. That is a completion. Completion feels good. Moving forward feels good. All these things feel great. But New Year's resolutions are just like, so much pressure. Like this year, it has to be this. Look, maybe you like New Year's resolutions. It's like very refreshing to you. I don't like them. I like to make ideas like in like March, you know what I mean? At different times. But for the past 3 New Year's, actually for the past 2, this is my 3rd New Year. I go on Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie on New Year's Eve. And last year I was on at 3 a.m. Eastern. So that was just after midnight in other places. I think this show is in Mexico. This show is all over our country. It's actually like the number 1 most listened to like radio show overnight paranormal radio show. It's really cool. But I think what I did was I went to bed at like 10 and then I set my alarm and woke up at 2:30 and went on the show. When I go on for a solid hour and I take call-ins. So it's a lot of fun. And then they ask me about, the new year to come and it's great. So this year I go on at 1 a.m. Eastern and I will definitely give you guys info if you're awake. But me personally, I always fall asleep before the ball drops. I don't know why. It just happens. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. There it goes. That ball's dropping. You know what I mean? But I think I'm going to have to stay up because that's not enough time to sleep and then wake up. That's like awkward. If I go to bed at like 11 or whatever, then I'm asleep for an hour and a half. That feels weird. I think I should just stay up and just tough it out and watch that ball drop. So yeah, it's almost New Year's. It's December. There's a lot of intense energy, flurry of activity. So, here it is. Here's the big kahuna, right? Can we put into practice our spirituality? Right? It's not worth just doing spirituality like if you're just feeling great and have time. Can you put into practice any of the work that you've done spiritually during times of intensity, chaos, overwhelm, overspend, whatever it may be? Can you give yourself 5 minutes a day to just breathe or go for a walk? Especially if you have kids, right? I think about this a lot. If you go to Disneyland and you're in a miserable mood and you're not being nice to your kids or you're fighting with your spouse or boyfriend or whatever, your kids don't give a shit that they're at Disney. They don't because the energy is off. and they're going to remember that you were like fighting or whatever. You know what I mean? That's how palpable energy is, right? Even in the best of place, if you're off, like I think about that with my husband and I, like, if we're not getting along, it really affects our kids. Maybe not like, terrible, but, they feel that energy, I should say. So a lot of times, if you are able to stay and give yourself anything to stay a little grounded, it does make it better for everyone else. No pressure, but it can just be a couple minutes a day where you just reground yourself a little bit. And that is a gift to yourself and energetically to others as well. So this is when we put things into practice. Can we work with boundaries when maybe we're with family that we find challenging? Can we boundary up? Can we seal up our energy a little bit so that their drama, their negativity does not, crush us and then ruin our day because we let them? So, whatever you've been working on spiritually, even just expanding your consciousness spiritually, think about, think about a bird's eye view, pull yourself out, give yourself some perspective, give yourself some gratitude, even in those moments. But we'll talk more about this. Um, So that is that. And I haven't done a new podcast in a little bit because I was sick. I was sick, which is do you guys get a little bit down when you're sick? What is the meaning of life? That's me, but I'm a little dramatic. I like laying in bed, like, what is the meaning of all this? But I'm better now. And I want to talk about something I think we've talked a little bit about before. Do I have a episode about it called Signs? Perhaps. But something came up this week that I want to talk about. And I believe this was in a reading with a lovely person. I believe she listens to the podcast. So obviously your name is completely anonymous, but something really cool came up in your reading and it really made me think about this and wanted to share it with you guys. So as we open spiritually and go through spiritual transformation and spiritual awareness and expansion, it is very, very normal to want to connect with spirit in a way that's very palpable, that we can touch, that we can see, because we're in the earth element. We have gravity, right? We have gravity. We're like, show me something. That's how we connect a lot. We want to see it. It's not always enough to just feel it. And plus, when we feel it, we rationalize it away, right? We're just like, wow, that's so cool, but is that real? Is that me just making shit up in my mind? And it's not, right? It's that connection, which is so beautiful. And it's very normal to second guess it and to judge it and to, not accept it. So we want to see things, we want to feel things. We want to have codes, have keys, have like little like personal, not personal jokes, but personal jokes with our guides. And so we ask for things. We ask for things from our loved ones who've crossed over. We ask them, show me this sign, show me that sign. Right? Even if we feel them and we talk to them all the time, we want the sign. We want that concrete thing. And that's very cool. I've worked with signs before in my own life, just kind of out of spite, right? Like, why do I have to ask for a sign? Is this real? Right? I talk to my guides every day and then worked with them and they were fantastic. It worked great. Um, so we look for signs and then we see the sign, and often it's not enough for us. Have you ever done that? Like asked for a sign and then you see something that's, the sign and you're like, well, wait, that could have happened to anyone. Well, wait, that sign was too common. Well, wait, right? And your guys don't get mad. They love you. They know you. They know you're an earth element and, having a little bit of closeness of mind there. But I think also we second guess things because we are in a modern day society. So our guides work through things that we are surprised that they work through, right? So they may work through the radio, they may work through the television set, and a lot of times they work through the phone. Um, so I'm going to tell you a cool story. And for those that have been listening, I talked to someone this week that said she has listened to every single episode and has been with me from the beginning. And I was just like, that is so cool. Thank you for listening. So anyway, you may have heard this story before, but it's very in this context, okay? So I was laying I woke did I wake up my son? Was he just waking up? And this was like not this past summer, the summer before that, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong for those that know this story. And I'm like waking him up. I kind of smushed next to him in bed. I'm like, hey, smush, whatever. We're laying in bed, we're chatting. And he started asking me some spiritual questions about connecting. Spiritual questions, I think about, listening to your intuition. I can't recall the exact questions. And I said, Ace, people kind of overthink stuff and they don't listen to themselves. So they'll hear something and then they're just like, oh, is that it? Is that not it? I'm like, it can be tough. And then he asked me if angels were real. And I said, they absolutely are real. And he's like, do I have an angel? And I'm like, you absolutely have an angel. And he said, what's my angel's name? And I said, well, why don't you ask them? And he was like, no, mom, come on. I can't talk to an angel. Like, no, right? He's like, at the time, 11, 12, or something. He's like, oh, no, no, he wasn't 12 because it wasn't the summer. So 10, 11. No, mom, like, no, I can't talk to angels. This is not for me. Like, no. And I'm just like, no, you really can, bud. You just can't overthink it. Like, you just have to be chill about it. And like, they're completely with you and they'll answer. And he's like, no, 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 no. And I pushed him on it. So I don't push my kids on spirituality. I don't force feed my spirituality on my kids. I answer questions. They've asked me questions about Jesus. They ask me questions about Judaism and I present things to them. So I do talk about it, but I don't tell them this is it. This is what we believe, right? Except for the fact that, connecting with God is a beautiful thing, stuff like that. But I don't push them. I want them to unfold their journey. I unfolded mine. I want them to unfold theirs, and I'm always there for them for support. So, anyway, I pushed him. I was like, Ace, just the first thing you think about, Asa, like just say it. What comes out? What do you hear? Who's your angel? And he goes, Ashley. And I go, well, there you go. That's awesome. That's such a great name. And he goes, yeah, wow. That I just heard the name and it came out. I'm like, that is so cool. So then he goes, Mom, what is your angel's name? And I'm like, I have no clue. And he's like, Mom, just ask. I'm like, no, buddy, this was for you. He's like, Mom, ask, what is your angel's name? I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, what is it, Mom? And I'm like, Samuel. It just came out. And he was like, there you go. And we're like, okay, cool. This is so great. So that was kind of a fun experience. I leave, go to my room, and I pick up my phone, open Instagram, like open my phone, open Instagram. And the first post that is up is at Ashley something. Ashley. Someone I didn't even follow. Like it was suggested or I don't remember, but it was like the first thing I saw was the name Ashley. And I went running into Asa's room. I'm like, Ace, Ashley, like this is the first thing I saw. This is a confirmation. This is a sign. Like there's a billion names in the world. Like I opened Instagram, it's like Ashley. It was just a confirmation. And he's like, wow, that's really cool. I'm like, I know. This is so cool. And then I'm like, wow, this is great. I'm like, I'm going to go up to the farmer's market and get coffee or whatever. This was in the summer. So we were up by the beach. Go to the farmer's market, order food, and then you have to wait. It's like a little hut kind of shack farmer's market. And then the rest is like a huge field and you wait outside and it's like a working farm. So I'm like waiting outside and there's tons of kids there. There's like swings and, you can pick some of the vegetables. There's, what is it called? Chickens, how you say chicken. I'm like, what is the word? Anyway, and there's tons of kids there and I'm standing outside. We're kind of like all standing in a cluster, everyone that's there, like waiting for their coffee or whatever. And I'm standing next to a guy. And when you're standing next to people in line, you're like, we're all in this together, people. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, kind of like standing next to this like random person, whatever. And he had a little boy who was like running all over the place. And I can't remember the exact conversation, guys. This was like 2 years ago, whatever, but it was something like, oh, he's so cute. How old is he? Yeah, he's this age, but he's running all over. And like, I'm waiting for my coffee. That's what the guy was saying. And we just chatted it up. My mom was with me. My sister was with me chatting. He was super nice, whatever. Um, and we're just waiting there together. And then his name got called because his order was ready. And it was like, Samuel, order up. Samuel. And I was like, oh, your name's Samuel. And he's like, yeah, nice to meet you, whatever. And I'm like, holy shit. Within 30 minutes, Ashley Samuel, confirmation. Did his name get called or did he introduce himself? Oh, by the way, I'm Samuel. Can't recall. But I believe they said Samuel, order up. But the gentleman standing next to me, he had red hair, little kid running around. His name was Samuel, randomly talking to a stranger 30 minutes or sooner after that name came to me for my angel. Not joking, like not joking. Ran home. Asa, I talked to a stranger. Guess what his name was? So guides, angels, your loved ones communicate with you in all kinds of ways. Yes, sometimes through a person. Yes, sometimes through the TV. Yes, sometimes through the radio. And yes, through your phone. Because we're staring at our phone. We're like, please give me a sign. Give me a sign. Stare at the phone. Scroll, 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 right? So I was reminded of this because I gave a reading to someone this week, excuse me, who I know listens to the podcast. And she told me a story. And she was like, I got a reading from you a year ago and great reading. And at the end, you told me the sign for my loved one, I think it was her dad, is an owl. And she said when she got off the phone, she like wrote down, okay, owl. I have literally no connection to owl. There's no connection between me and my dad and owl, but whatever. She writes it down. That night, gets in bed, starts scrolling. It's pitch black in her room. She said she likes a pitch black room, like a vault, pitch black in her room. She opens her phone. She scrolls up a little bit and there is a picture of it. The whole square is black, pitch black like her room, and a big, huge spread wing owl. And she's like, Erica, it was blackness and just this flying owl. And he was staring at me and I was staring at him. And I was like, oh my God, I got chills. And then she went on to have other very profound experiences with owls. I mean, profound, like gathering with family members she hadn't seen in years, talking about her dad and a freaking owl is sitting on the tree next to them, like very profound. So yes, your guides will use all kinds of methods. Your angels will use all kinds of methods. You're not imagining it. We live in a modern society. We're not out in the fields meditating. Usually, maybe some of you are, but you know, spirit works in all kinds of ways. And the more developed you get and the more you listen to your gut and your intuition, the more you will see. You will see synchronicity. You will see the beautiful web that we're all connected. It is growing, it is building, right? Your connection is growing and building. Don't rationalize it away. You can, it's very healthy, but then touch back in again. Touch back in with yourself, touch back in. It's worth it. You will see that connection. You will feel that connection. Now, the other thing I want to say is that, remember, I get a lot of messages that that loved ones don't always send signs. And we get so disappointed. So if you're someone that's not getting signs, which I talk to a lot of people like that, I've asked for a sign, it doesn't come and they get very frustrated. And it just means that your team is working with you to connect with you in a different way. Why they do that, I don't always know. Sometimes that's your journey. Sometimes that's your path. Sometimes part of your life path is to listen to yourself, and them just sending you signs would take away some of that path for you. So they are working with you telepathically or through energy. So part of your journey is to really identify how you're being worked with and giving yourself ease and grace and knowing that there is much work being done on your behalf and that your team loves you, that you have a team, that they haven't abandoned you, that you are safe, that they're working with you in all kinds of ways. But telepathically is very, very, you really have to fine tune. And people will go, well, is that me or is that them? And if your people are working with you telepathically, remember that that is them. They are working with you through the mind, but it does sound and feel like you a lot of times, because you're not supposed to have strange voices in your head. It can be very uncomfortable to have strange voices in your head. Very uncomfortable. So it does sound like you. Know that your incredible team is working with you in all kinds of ways. And the more you practice listening to your own inner voice, which you can do in a plethora of ways, the more you practice that, the more you will accept the beautiful way that your team is working with you because they work with you in all kinds of ways. Now, loved ones also connect with you through feelings and memories. So sometimes what comes up in readings is this idea of getting your photo albums or looking through photos. Because when you do, you look at their face, you think of a memory, and they are able to connect with you through pictures. Great way to connect. And if you don't have a big bang, like someone says, Samuel, that's okay. I don't get a big bang much. I really don't in my own life. I get incredible moments of alignment where I am almost can't hold the love that I feel and this incredible connection. I get it a lot when I'm listening and singing to music. I get just this overwhelm and this incredible alignment. So that happens. So a lot of car enlightened moments. But I get it a lot through feelings and through just this incredible feeling that I'm aligned with God, and that can be very, very powerful. So please allow the connection to come in a way uh, that is your own unique brand. Also know that your team really connects with you in a way that's healthy for your spirit and that's healthy for you to process. If you try and rush them or push them into a box to do it in a certain way, it can be unhealthy. You're really going at the rate that's healthy for you. You're going at the rate that you can digest and process, right? I hope this served you today. Sometimes my podcasts are a little bit shorter because I just want to focus on one thing and one idea so that when you go off and think about it, you had kind of just this hit of this one topic. And also a topic that can develop out for you. So, meaning you are really thinking about one part of your spiritual journey of accepting this beautiful way that spirit communicates with you, whether it's through feelings, whether it's telepathically, whether it's through signs and confirmation in that way. Great way also to connect with spirit is through journaling, free form journaling, really working and asking them to come and assist you through the pen to gain clarity for yourself. Remember, your guides are there to support your journey, not to take your journey away and give you answers for the end result. It's very important. Good. I love you guys. Please follow me on Instagram at Spiritual Medium Erica. Please rate this podcast. Easy. Just click stars. Wherever you get your podcast, just rate it and throw in a comment if you can. But definitely follow me at Spiritual Medium Erica if you want to work with me. EricaGabriel.com. I love you guys. Thanks for sticking with me through thick and thin. God bless you. I think of you often. Write me. I'm around. Take good care and much more to come. God bless.